What if I told you that everything you think you know about finding your zone of genius is wrong? You've been told to follow your passion, to do what you're good at, but what if that's the very thing keeping you invisible? Today, I'm going to look back at my 22-year career, and just for you, I'm going to share the 3-question framework looking back that I've used in Hollywood to find hit television shows. This is the same framework that will help you uncover your true zone of genius, the one that's already inside of you, waiting to be unlocked. Yesterday, we talked about the problem of being the invisible expert. And today, we start building the solution. And it begins with a fundamental misunderstanding. That's right, misunderstanding. What are we told? We're told to follow our passion, but passion doesn't pay the bills, right? At least that's what my wife says. Because it doesn't. Being good at something doesn't make you unique. For years, I was good at being a television executive. Woohoo! But that didn't make me an authority. Kind of made me a commodity, right? Lots of TV executives. Your zone of genius isn't just what you're good at. It's the intersection of 3 powerful things: your unique background. What combination of experiences do you have that most people in your field don't? Your superpower problem. What specific problem do you solve better than anyone else? Market validation. What are people already paying premium prices for in your space? When you find that overlap between these 3, that's when you find your zone of genius. You find what makes you the only. When I was developing television shows, I never really looked for the best idea. What does that even mean, the best idea? But I always looked for the only idea, something that goes, that hasn't been done before in that way. And when I was looking at ideas, I tend to ask 3 questions. What story has never been told this way? So what's the unique background? What unique access or perspective do we have? What's the superpower? And what would make this impossible to ignore? Market demand. So let's take Duck Dynasty. You all know the show. The story of a family business wasn't new. Nope. But the story of a millionaire redneck duck call empire, that had never been told. Their unique access was their authentic, unfiltered family dynamic. And what made it impossible to ignore was that culture clash. It was in only. Now let's apply this to your business. The questions become, what problem do you solve that nobody else solves this way? What unique experience or perspective do you bring? What would make you impossible to ignore in your market? When I stepped away from the day-to-day of my television career, I was lost. I knew I was good at television, but what was my zone of genius as an entrepreneur? I had to ask myself those 3 questions. My unique background: 22 years as a Hollywood executive. And on top of that, experience launching over 100 shows and understanding what makes content forgettable. That's my unique background. What's my superpower problem? I help people become impossible to ignore. I did it for television shows, and I realized entrepreneurs needed that exact same thing. And then market validation. Businesses were already paying tens of thousands, tens of millions for branding, marketing, and positioning. They were still invisible. My zone of genius, when you intersect all of them, wasn't just branding. It was being the only consultant who uses a 22-year Hollywood career to make entrepreneurs, to make you impossible to ignore. Do you see the difference? That's the power of this framework. Now it's your turn. I want you to take 5 minutes and answer these questions. Ready? Get out your pen and paper. What's your unique background? What's your superpower problem? What's the market validation? This is the first and most critical step in the Hollywood Authority Blueprint. It's the foundation for everything else. And I just did say Hollywood Authority Blueprint. Do you want the full blueprint, the full worksheet, the templates, the step-by-step guide to walk you through this? Well, I put it all together. It's called the Hollywood Authority Blueprint, which I already said. And guess what? It's going to cost you free. That's right. It's going to cost you nothing, but you have to comment the number $2 below. And I will personally send it to you. How exciting is that? I get to send it to you. Tomorrow, we're going to talk about the talk-back television formula. What is that? Well, I'm going to help you to craft a story so good, people can't help but repeat it. You don't want to miss it. So comment $2 now, please do that, and I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, be unforgettable. Be the $2 bill.